What is up, my people? Got another thought about finances stuff for you. So think about like traditional working, right? You work somewhere, they give you money for the work you put in, and companies oftentimes offer benefits, which is another incentive for you to work with them, right? Because a lot of places people go and work, there's only so much you're going to get paid for your position, because every position has a value within the company. It literally has a dollar amount, and no one in that position is going to get paid more than that dollar amount. There's a pay band. It's like a range. You got the low end and the high end for that position. The only way to get paid more is to get into a higher position, which has a higher range of pay. That's for most jobs, right? If you're working a sales job, you get commissions, then it's a little different because you can make more based on the amount of volume of sales that you do with whatever that agreement is. But for the most part, the only way a company can make your position better in pay or in what you get is by benefits, right? So they offer you a better health plan, vision plan, medical insurance, leave, etc. Apart from that, those are pretty much the tangible things that they can do for you. Now, intangible stuff they can do is they can hire great leaders, have good management, have people that are in leadership positions that are actually good leaders, not just bosses, bossing everybody around. They can have people that are not micromanagers. Like, that's personality stuff they can hire to make the environment of work better. And there are many, many times where the environment of a workplace, even though the work is grueling and intense, you will not mind doing the work because the people you're working around are great people. You have great leadership, great colleagues, a great environment, you'll stay there. But the other thing I think about that we've been taught, or what is known commonly in society, is that you trade your dollars for time, right? That's what people always talk about, but also retirement, right? So you take funds that you're earning from your employer and you take it out pre-tax, right? You get to put it into your retirement account. If they offer a match or 401k, if you work for a 403b, if you're in education or other types of retirement accounts they have, TSP if you work for the government, the different types. So either way, you're investing for your future in your retirement. But what I find in this is, like, it just feels like a great trick. It's the big trick. It's the biggest trick in the book. You're going to work for me. I'm going to pay you only a limited amount of income. And then to incentivize you to stay, I'm going to give you benefits, because we get group benefits as an employer to have thousands of people under a health plan. So it costs less because we have thousands or millions of people under a health plan. So you'll get a better price point than if you got it on your own. And then we're going to take some of the money that we give you and we're going to lower the amount you get to even take home. We're going to put it in retirement for you, where now you can't touch it. No. You can't touch it until you hit retirement age. And if you do, we're going to smack you on the wrist and take an extra tax penalty out of it. Now, I'm not saying companies do this. This is just a whole scheme of things that happens. But it just feels like a great trick, right? Because then you get to that age that you're going to retire. You didn't really fully understand what you invested in when you're investing in your retirement account, because there are funds that people have had, pensions and other things of that nature, that are running out of money. They weren't planned and invested in wisely by the persons that were managing the plans. We have other plans that are not paying out what was expected because of inflation, etc., because the investments in the plan weren't built in a way to cover the unknown future. And I feel like it's like a great trick, right? So I look at it where I'm just working on building portfolio for cash flow, because if I can create my own cash flow, my own additional income on top of my income, then I can then purchase or buy those things that I can use that, in my opinion, will help me to grow wealth, or help me to grow, I guess, whatever the creature comforts are in life, so I can get to where I want to be and have freedom in what I want to do. Now, when I say financial freedom, for me, that means, taking care of things that I need in life, my basic necessities for a certain level of lifestyle, where it's all covered passively, where I don't have to actively go and work to make that happen. And there's ways to help those numbers with mitigating taxes, with understanding the write-offs that you can do with your taxes for having home-based business, or for having a personal business where you'll have additional write-offs, understanding what you can purchase and use that can be used for your business or personally, but you still get to write off the whole amount. I mean, these things are literally written into the tax code, and people don't take the time to figure out or learn what the rules are that they can do to play within the legal bounds of the game, but put themselves ahead. But you have to think a little bit untraditionally. And so I try to help people see ways they can think untraditionally and still do things by the book that are legal, that are completely written in regulations. So when you do it, you have no reason to think that you're going to get in trouble or have some kind of negative recourse because the actions you took are legal. I'm not trying to show you some kind of way that's illegal to do these kind of things. its own way of taking care of itself. And there are people that have the knowledge that do that, and sometimes they share it, sometimes they don't. It's up to them. People can share whatever they want to share. I try to share things that I'm personally doing in my life. So usually the things that I talk about or share or do are things that I have either done myself or tried. Now, some of them I may not still be doing at the current moment, because as life changes, the needs and my goals that I'm trying to reach may change. So if I had talked about some investment fund that I was into or liked in the past, it may be something that I sell out of and get into something different because I see something else that fits and meets my goals better. And so you can't be scared to get rid of something. I'm not married to any investment. It's I look at it. If it fits within my goals and needs and wants, I do it. If it doesn't, then I get rid of it. It's just plain and simple as that. As long as it's doing what I want it to do, I keep it. For the most part, I try and buy and hold forever. So I'm not someone who's buying and selling a bunch of stuff all the time, because I realize that the accumulation of the largest nest egg that I can possibly make is what's going to make the biggest impact in my life. I talk about all the time saying 10% is a common number we hear about, right? For a percentage of something, as far as taxes, or as far as the average return to the market historically over long-term periods of time. So you think about 10%, right? If you have 10% of a dollar, that's a dime. It's not that much money. A dime is not going to change your world. But if you have $1 million, 10% of that is 100,000. And if you could bring in an easy 10% on a large lump sum of money you have invested, maybe it's enough money for you to live on. Some people, their current income right now may be 50 grand per year, 50 to 60. That's the median income range for Americans. So if they had a percentage of that coming home to them every year passively, that then starts to free up additional capital for them to do things. Let's take the 10% example. If I had $300,000 at 10%, I'm earning 30 grand per year. And I did the math on this. I'm not like some kind of genius or something. But if you take 30 grand and divide it by 12, that's $2,500 per month. Now, a lot of people can't math in their head how they can save up or invest and earn or get up to $1 million. But a couple $100,000 is a lot more realistic to see how you can make that happen, because it's a lower amount. Like you could look at some people investing and making some earnings over some time. And there's investment calculators. You can go out there and play with numbers and see. But if you start doing that, you start seeing that, wow, there is a method to this madness. And the sooner I start, the sooner I can get moving forward in this game. And again, I look at it like a game. To me, it's like a big video game. I am trying to farm and get resources and figure out how I can save up to buy the biggest, best stuff so I can beat the boss. That's how I played, RPG type video games when I was growing up, or even now. I wasn't the kind of guy who bought every weapon along the way to beat the bosses. I would just farm with the crappiest weapon and keep playing, grinding until I saved up enough to just buy the biggest, best weapon I had, and then boom, then I went out and started gangbusters, just knocking everybody out. But that's sort of how I'm thinking about this thing in life, right? Like I'm trying to take the time now to save, learn, get more knowledge, get more information, put more money towards some things, figure out ways to do it. And for me, in my personal journey, I'll just be honest with you. I got 4 kids, I got 2 dogs, I got a cat, I got a wife. We have bills and stuff to pay. The income that I make, honestly, I don't think it's not enough to fully cover everything that we do in life in a manner where there's a lot left over every month. It does cover everything for us to have a very blessed lifestyle where we can enjoy ourselves, take time with family, take time with friends, and do different things. But it's not over and abundant where I have an extra $500 a month or $1,000 a month to invest. And if you look at some of the people doing the financial calculators, and if you go Google investment calculator or compound interest calculator, you can plug in some numbers. And some of the numbers that people have to put in per month in order to earn enough income passively from their brokerage account or from their investments to live on, it would take you putting in $500, $1,000, $1,500, $2,000 a month to get there pretty quickly. And most Americans don't have that. I certainly don't. The way that I get additional income to invest, and it varies for me every month, is through side hustles. I do other things. We own a business. I do some contract work on the side, 1099. I will do odd jobs here and there. I help put up a fence. I'll help clean something out. I'll help cut some grass. Like I'll do random stuff. And then also anytime a windfall comes, we try to not take windfalls and add them to our everyday living expenses and budget, right? So like if I get a tax return, I don't take the tax return and go spend it on a shopping spree or vacation. My wife and I have agreed that when we get extra income we don't expect coming in, it all goes to investments. Recently I got a return from a medical bill. We had overpaid some medical bills. Insurance paid more than what was expected from the provider. So the difference in what we paid and what insurance paid, they had to give back to us because they overpaid for the medical services. So when I got that check, I had already thought, in my mind, the medical bill is already paid. Like, what am I going to do with this extra money? I'm not going to just go out to eat with it because that'll just be one trip with a family of 6. I was like, nope, we're going to invest it. We already got food at home. We can cook. We can do what we already had planned for our budget because we already paid this bill and it was already calculated within the budget. This is extra money that just came in. So guess what? It's going to investing. So every time I do that, it just chunks up the amount we're having in the investment account. So it's not because I had so much money per month to put in. But what's happening now is the dividends are starting to roll in at a place where I can then put more in than what I expected. So like, let's say a month goes and I have an extra $150 or $200 that I put into investing. Well, now that I've put so much more into investing and doing that over time over the last couple years, now my investment account, my brokerage account is going to yield me a couple $100s a month. And that couple $100 plus the $200 I put in, now it's as though I'm investing $500 a month. And as I continue to scale that up, it'll be as though I'm investing $1,000 a month or whatever, because as I keep putting more in, I keep getting more back. And instead of taking home all of what is coming back, I've reinvested. That's the flex. That is the flex. Now, people want to talk about taxes and other things like that. And I got some other information I can share about taxes another time. But for the most part, I haven't had any problem with any taxes. And if I did have taxes, I don't really care. Because if I get taxed more, that means I made more. And if I made more and I'm diligent with what I have and I budget with it and I plan for it, then I should be able to afford the taxes, because I'm not going to just take additional income and not put aside something for taxes for it. That's just wisdom. We all know things we're going to do in this life. We're going to live, we're going to work, we're going to pay taxes, we're going to die. So plan your life around that. Either way, I hope this helps you, man. Like, really, take some steps, do some things, make it happen. I'm rooting for you. I want to see you win. And I'm here to help. So if you got questions, you want to know some stuff, hit me up. I don't mind sharing parts of my journey or knowledge or information I've gotten or resources. Because I really just want to see other people making it.